When I was in my elementary days, my classmates used to call me a horse because I run here, I run there, I run everywhere. I'm a hyper kid. And also I wanted to be on top. I wanted to be the person who people will look up to and be idolized. I tried several things, but let us accept the fact that I don't have the brains. So, what can I do? Until the door of sports opened. I remember that day when my teacher wants me to join, but I said no. I don't know why, but I said no. And sir went to our house and let my parents decide for me. At first, I was like, I'm not into sports. But note, I am a hyper kid. But my teacher said I had the potential. So I gave it a chance. And at my first try, I said to myself that I'm kind of loving it. So I continued doing it. And my first competition is not good. But I did not give up. Because I believe that things are better in the second time around. And I feel that's my year. Not to brag, but I won. And that very moment, I made my parents proud. And I feel satisfied. And also, sports opened the door of friendship for me. I meet a lot of people. Some of them became my friends, and some stays as my opponent. I enjoyed those days. The days of training, even if it's hard and exhausting. The memories that we made that I love to look back to. The competitions, and many more. That's why I really wanted to go back on track. Because when I'm on track, I feel like I'm running for my dream.
Today, I will be telling you a memoir or a significant story of a personal experiences of a person. Learning something can be a scary experience. One of the hardest things I ever had to do was to learn how to be a dancer from a band in junior high school. I was always shy from the crowd. I haven't no confidence at all. But I decided that being a part of a band is a nice experience in junior high school. What I didn't realize that learning to be a dancer or a twirler would also make me a more confident person in socializing people. New situations always makes me a bit nervous, and my first parade experience was no exception. After the dance performance, my teacher said that I have a potential to be a part of a band. That's when I was a second year high school. That time, every event in our campus, we must be at the top priority because usually a band will make a first presentation of all the activities. Months passed, there's a competition in Nalyagan and we became the representative of our municipality. Lots of practice, lots of hardships, lots of unique skills to perform, and the fighting spirit to win the competition we applied. But sadly, we are not the winner that time. But for us, we are the people's choice and the winner for their eyes. It was a great experience for all of us. Those memories when I was in high school was a wonderful happening or experience for me. In fact, I really missed spending time with my bandmates, how we loved in times of tiring practices. I always treasure all of it. We must face the reality that those are all the memories we should never forgotten in our life. That was my significant story and personal experience during my junior high school time.
Based on my personal memories and the things that I remembered, I was born at Cagayan de Oro City and lived there for 8 years. But then we had to transfer here in Butuan for some personal reasons. And I started grade 3 level here in Maug Elementary School, and I graduated here also. And probably that was the most memorable thing for me because everything was so new for me and it was out of my comfortable place. I was excited and nervous about it. Although after some time, I finally get to meet another people, some friends, and in this environment which is very new for me. I get to do the things that I didn't really and that I wasn't able to do when I was still in Cagayan de Oro City, like playing outside and walking from the school to home. Like, these things are the things that I wasn't able to do. And during also that time, I was able to join the Girl Scout and learn new things. And before, that time we are taught to be independent, so we were able to sleep outside our homes. We are able to sleep at another school without our parents. And we actually learned new things because of it, and we met new friends because of it too from another school. But the most exciting thing for me that time was when we were able to sleep one night without our parents, and that time I really felt free and independent from them. So that was my favorite part of the Girl Scout. And during also that time, I wasn't really a shy kid before. In fact, I was the school president in our school council, and I was also always on the honor list before. And every school against another school competition, I also compete there. And this is why I guess the reason why this is the most memorable time for me, because I was really living in a place out of my comfort zone. I was able to live in another place that I really knew nothing of, and during this time, instead of being nervous, I really felt excited about it. And even though I really felt a little bit of nervousness, but the excitement was really there. And that is probably why this is the most memorable thing for me.
One of the most unforgettable moments in my life was when me and my best friend got hit by a car. So yeah, it was way back when I was grade 3. Yeah, we were both in grade 3. And me and him decided to go somewhere else. And it's very far. Our parents never allowed us to go that far because we're still kids, and maybe something will happen to us on the road, especially on the highway. So yeah, but still we did go. And yeah, while we're on the road, we're about to cross, and my friend is in the back ride. Yeah, I was the driver. We only used one bicycle because it's the only one available. So yeah, we're about to cross the road, and then I asked my friend if the road is clear. I didn't look to, so yeah. I was asking him if it was clear. So he said yes, it's clear. So the moment I crossed the road, we got hit by a car. And things happened fast. We didn't even know what happened next. All I can remember is that I just froze in my bike, and while on the ground, it's like everything is in slow motion. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what to do in that very moment. I thought I was dead. I thought I broke my leg or something. I broke my back. But yeah, I was fine that moment. I only got bruise from my leg and my elbow. So yeah, my best friend called me, and I quickly stood up, and we ran because we were afraid that the car owner will sue us for denting his car, something like that. Because note that we're only in grade 3 and we don't know how things work. So yeah, we ran and hid for I think maybe an hour or 40 minutes, something like that, until we got out from the bushes and got home. So yeah, when we got home, thankfully our parents didn't know that happened. So lesson learned, we should listen to our parents because they know the best, what's the best for us. Even though it may seem impossible to happen to us, but yeah, parents know best for us. So next time, I will listen to my parents if they wouldn't allow me to do that and this, because they know that something bad will happen if you do that. So yeah, that's one of the most unforgettable moments in my life, and I will treasure the lesson that I learned from it.
When I was in 5 years old, my parents got separated because they don't understand each other. And I came from a broken family, and it's very difficult for me to understand why my family is like this while everyone else is seemingly happy with their family. When my fourth grade and I was 9 at that moment, my classmate starts bullying me. I was choked at school every day and I was kept silent. They bullied me because I came from a broken family. And they keep asking me that, where's your parents? And I try to neglect them their question. But they just tease me and keep bullying me. I know I don't have a perfect family like others have. Mostly at night, I cried in silence and keep asking that why does these bullies never end? Having a broken family is not easy, and I feel like my heart gets stabbed in 100 of knife and cut into tiny little pieces. I've been through with hurts and cries and endure emotional problems. As time passed by, I became veteran about my family situation. I tend to spend my time alone and I become more peckish and I don't want to see a lot of people because it really drains my energy. I'm enjoying with my own company, that's why I don't have a lot of friends until now. Love yourself and value yourself more. It's very important. I hope this life experience MEMOIR make teens aware and not to bully each other.
In my elementary level, I learned many things from my subjects and from my encounters with best friends. It is fun and exciting meeting new friends. We share jokes and laughter. Sometimes we are being scolded by our teachers due to being very makulit. It is there that we do not listen to our lessons. Sometimes we copy each other's assignments and we tease each other. But of course, I do my assignments on my own. During break time, we run each other, teasing one another. This made me happier while in schools. If possible, I do not want to be absent because I do not want to miss new lessons and of course the moments with my best friends. But there are some regrets for not taking my studies seriously. That time, but I know finishing my elementary level is already a pride for my parents.
I'm about to share the significant story of my life that is very unforgettable and memorable. For me as a whole, this is where I learned a lot of things from church. Year 2018, where I attempt to join a youth choir, and I didn't expect myself to practice that night. Then the youth leader called my name, and I was shocked and terrified. When he was about to call my name, and all the choir members looked at me sincerely, then the leader did make me sing their song, even though I am so new to them. Then after that, they were amazed unexpectedly when I already sang. Then time goes by, almost all of the youth members were making friends of me. And we were making a lot of bonds with each other. We practiced every other day for Sunday masses and had a lot of quality time in our vacant days. We made a lot of activities with different priests and leaders. This is very memorable for me because this is where I learned to be more matured. This is where I learned to be more confidential in all things. This is where I learned a lot of respect from people. This is where I learned a lot of patience. I learned how to value more of things, what is into you, or what is into me. And this is where I learned to praise God, of course.
So today, I'm going to tell you a memoir or a significant story based on a personal memories or experience of a person. So when I became a teen, some people are asking me what job that I want to do um, what job that I want to do when I grow up, and I told them that I want to become a policewoman. And they said that, why? Are you sure? Because I don't think so. I think you can't do it because it's so hard for you. And I guess they don't believe and trust me and in what I can do. And they're turning me down. And you know what? I told them carefully that if you have something you want to achieve in your life, then you can do it because that's what you want to do. And you will do it even if it is difficult to do. Because there's no job or a dream without having any difficulties. And it will not be achieved if you didn't do your best or if you're not sincere person. And everyone in this world can do and can achieve their dreams if they just trust their own selves. And that is my precious memories that I've ever had in my life.
Last year, when I was a grade 12 student in SGIT, there's a grade 12 students inside of our classroom to ask me and my classmates to join of the organization called Marshall. This is was founded by Praise and Sir Paho. We are the ones who made things prepared in every event in SGIT. Include these are kaplayapaan giving school supplies. We also make the campus peacefully. I was kinda discriminated on in my own home campus. They said, "Tanod, tanod, I ain't tanod. I'm a marshal." People saw us like nobody, but I don't care. As a marshal, we go through a mental and physical training. We ain't give a time to those who neglected us. I become a marshal not only to become a physical fit, but also to be good person and people will look up to.
High school life is the most memorable day of being a student. This is the time when I totally realized that life was full of mysteries. Mystery is termed as the experiences that enable me to treasure those glimpses and made me realize that life is beautiful. After I graduated elementary, I felt mixed emotion, excited and nervous. Excited in the sense that I will be having new experiences and more friends. Nervous on the other hand because I didn't know if I could survive with the different trials that may come my way. On my first day of school, I'm a little bit tense because I was surrounded with new faces, new environment, and new attitude. I remember the day that everyone should have to introduce oneself in front of the class. I was ashamed that time but need to overcome the feelings. Such time I conquered it and able to embrace my new life. My family My family supported me all the way. They're always there to encourage and lighten my burden when I'm bombarded with different schoolworks like project, assignments, video clips, and video call during group works. They're always there to lend their shoulder to cry on. They're my motivator, my inspiration, why I'm still standing and trying to cope with the struggles of life. Because of them, why I'm still going. Now, I am a senior high school student. I will finish my senior high school year and soon be a college student. To God be the glory.
And I'm about to share to y'all my life, my most unforgettable experience in life. That was I was a kid. My head was bumped into a table, a sharp end corner of the table, and my head is bleeding very bad, and my parents and my sister is very scared and worried, so they call an ambulance so that they rush me at the hospital. When we are at the hospital, I was asleep because I have no strength left, and the doctor talked to my parents that they would perform an operation because my head because the upper part of my skull is here. The upper part of my skull is cracked, so they will perform an operation so that my head will recover. So during the time of operation, I woke up and I feel the pain, so much pain, guys. I can't imagine. You can't even imagine the pain. And the doctor was shocked because I woke up, and they quickly inject me and sleeping medicine so that I can sleep again. So when I woke up again, my head is all covered up here, part here, and there are braces, I guess braces here to stop the bleeding, and so painful, and that's all.
I know that every people in this world have their own story to tell. Sometimes it is good and sometimes it is bad. It is memorable and you can gain some lessons in your life because it is a significant experience. And that will be this video is all about. When I was a kid, I was a shy type person. I doesn't show care on things before. Before, I was having a really hard time socializing with other kids because I am lacking on one thing, and that is confidence. I have no friends, not sociable, and always a lone kid until that fateful day my life has changed when I discovered the beauty of dancing. I witnessed the beauty of it when I watched people dancing live on TV. They are so cool and fun to watch that even people who are watching is also dancing. They are dancing because they got caught by the rhythm of the dance. Then I think maybe I should try dancing. Maybe I could gain confidence and finally making people recognize me if I show to them that I can dance. After a long time of teaching myself how to dance, I finally got it. But it's not the best yet. But still, at least I learned how to dance now. Then, to test my courage to perform dancing and to challenge myself if I can get rid the shy type person part of myself, I participated on a dance competition. The long hours of practice, the pressure, it was all a challenge, but I have to surpass it. When the competition has started and it's our turn to show our performance, we gave our best to show them what we've got. And thank God, we won the competition. After that, people started to recognize me and praising me that I have the potential to be a good dancer. As a result to my effort, I got new friends and I started socializing with them. And then finally, the shy person part of myself that I hated the most is all gone. I learned that in order to be recognized by the world and make some changes in our lives, we have to make a big step on our lives. I know it will be a very risky decision to make, but who knows what is the outcome will be. You can't really tell if you don't try. If it is good, then good job. If it is bad, then try again. And remember, the only time we lose our chances if we surrender.
Way back 2010 when I've got appendicitis and I was just 7 years old that time. In first place, my parents didn't know that I had suffering appendicitis on that time because they only know that it's just what we call panuhot. On the other day, they wondering that why I cannot stand straight and then if I walk, I'm just like a hunchback. It is because of the pain I feel in the right side part of my waist. So, my parents decided to brought me to the masseuse so that maybe the pain I feel may last. So, after that, the masseuse pulled my right foot. And then, while he pulled my right foot, we heard a busted inside in my body so that my mother felt nervous and me too. After that, we go home. And then when we got home, I feel like the pain in the right side part of my waist is getting worse. So, my parents decided to brought me to the hospital. And then they shocked on what the doctor said. The doctor said that your child has a 22 centimeter appendicitis and she needs to undergo an operation right now because if you'll wait a little longer and be calm about her situation, your daughter might die because her appendix is already busted and it will poison your daughter. And when the dawn comes, I cry because it was the time that I will go the operation and I'm so scared at the time. And then When I'm inside the operation room, I'm still on crying. And all the nurses hold me and they say that don't move, little mom. We're going to inject you with anesthesia so that we can start the operation. As I remember, after they inject me anesthesia, I was unconscious. So maybe the operation has started. So time passed. I woke up and I see how the doctor pulled my intestine and he wondering that why I'm awake and they injected me anesthesia. So I slept again and then when I woke up, I'm in the recovery room. And then after an hour or day, they put me on a ward. As they pass by, after the operation, I feel the pain in my back and I cannot move quickly because it feels like stabbing my back, and every time I move slowly, I always cry because the pain is so very, very, very exaggerated. So I'm very thankful. That I recovered in just 3 days, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, because it's not easy talaga. So that's all. Thank you.
I was in grade 8. I have this friend who was an Arnis player. One day, he asked me to watch his training. I literally got amazed the way he played with the stick. The very day, he asked me to join their team because there will be a school-mate competition. It was an opportunity, but I kind of hesitated, not because I'm not interested or I don't know how to play, but because I doubt myself. Because I never been into competition before. So at the end, I just turned down his invitation. One day, their coach talked to me. He asked me to join their team because he saw some potential in me. I was a bit of hesitant, but I thought of trying because why not? How would I know if I don't try, right? So at the very day, I decided to accept his invitation. I was recruited to their team and we always trained almost every day until the day of competition came. I was so nervous. Were many thoughts running in my head that day. What if I lose and just disappoint them? Our coach never failed to cheer me on. I gave my best with all my heart and with the help from above. I won. I could not believe that I was a silver medalist at the first competition. Being happy and thankful is understatement. They were so proud of me. I was so grateful. I continued playing Arnis until I was got recruited as a trainer of different school. This is most significant moment of my life which I will never forget.
Situation is life-changing. I remember the day so vividly. Everything was so perfect and there's something that was so restless that everything changed in just one snap. December 14 morning, I hear noises outside. The curiosity kills the cat. I go out and see what's happening, and my auntie passed by, running on the road, and she yells at me that my mother was hit by a van. I process all the words that she yells at me, but all of it didn't process because in my mind tells that it wasn't true. I slowly step back, going to my room. I cry a lot, silently talking and praying to God that this is not true. My neighbor and cousins keeps comforting me, but the comfort wasn't the medicine to erase what I feel that day. Later on, my auntie calls and tells me that we should go to hospital where my mama is. We were greeted by the words, "Mama is dying." I cried so much that day. I saw her laying on the bed and just the manual ventilator giving her a oxygen. It's hard to accept and process it all. Everything happens changed my life. The usual presence changed a lot. The situation changed my life perspective. That becomes an eye opener to me that my mother was the key to open my life, to open my direction, to open everything, which is what I did right now was to her, especially to my family. It is difficult to accept what happened, but I know I can make it and it process well. It becomes everything, it because everything happens for a reason, and that is to change the life of my family, the life of my life, and it becomes a life-changing thing.
When I was 13 years old, way back 2015, it was an ordinary year, ordinary day. I woke up early, get ready for school, ate breakfast, and went to the school. I was just enjoying my day with my classmates. After class, I went home alone. My older sister lives in her friend's house, so we didn't know where she is. After that, my parents arrived from work. We ate dinner together, then we watched television together. We didn't know what's going to happen because we just have an ordinary day. After an hour, we sleep like our daily routine. While we sleep, a few hours pass. We heard some crying and shouting. We are nervous because we don't know what's happening. Then we went outside. We saw my papa and mama arguing. We found out that my older sister is pregnant. Papa was so angry, he wanted us to go outside just to find my sister. He forced me and my sister to go outside just to find my older sister because he wanted to talk to her. We don't have any choice. We went outside crying because it's late and there's a lot of dogs barking us. We were so scared that time and we were just crying the whole time. Then my mother followed us and sent us home. We were so scared to go home. Then after an hour, they found my sister and they talked to her. While crying, they were so angry because they were wasting money for her college. Then she got pregnant. Papa was so angry to the point that he hurt my sister. 10 years had passed, he still accepts my sister and her son because Papa, my father don't have any choice. And I always think that everything has a reason. And that's the worst day. I will never.
That moment that I can't forget is when I got qualified in the marching band when I was in grade 8, because when I was in grade 4 I really dreamed to be in a marching band, and I didn't expect that I actually got in. So the other experience that I can forget is when we champion in a band competition. It was my last year in junior high, and we actually won the competition. But we didn't expect that we win, because in my 3 years experience in competing with other bands, we haven't won a single competition. So it was unforgettable because it's my last year and last play before I left the band.
It was during Christmas Day in 2015. My mother and father decided to celebrate Christmas into my grandparents' house. So after we went to church, we went home to change our clothes for a minute before going to my grandparents' house. When we were almost there, we saw a bunch of vehicles being parked outside the house, and I thought it was just from one of their neighbor's kids. But as soon as I got out of the vehicle, I heard loud noise coming out of my grandparents' house. So I rushed inside as some of the voices are familiar to me. There, I saw my relatives from different places gathering in the dining area. I asked some of my cousins why they're here, and they answered the same thing. They miss celebrating Christmas with the whole fam, cause they've missed lots of important occasions due to school and work. My uncle, which is my father's brother, decided to play games with the oldies. It was hilarious, cause he chose a game that requires strength, and some of them don't have that anymore. After the oldest game, they decided to move on to the next game, but this time, it is us the young ones who's going to play. And my stomach hurts for laughing so hard because of my cousin's epic face when we were playing the game. Before they decided to go home, they planned the next gathering, even planned a reunion in summer. It was a nice day as we celebrated Christmas almost complete. The only missing family members are the ones working abroad. Even it didn't last long based on the time I expected because they need to go. We still made a great memories that I still cherish.
I was 7 years old and in my first grade when my parents had misunderstanding and eventually got separated. My mom went to work abroad to sustain our needs. Since then, I grew up with my father and grandmother by my side. Time flies so fast. I was already on my sixth grade when my mother promised to be the one who will attend on my graduation day. I was very excited because it has already been 5 years since she left to work abroad. But maybe because of my excitement, I mean so much excitement, something happened. I've got no message from her and the day before my graduation, she contacted me to apologize because unfortunately she can't attend on my graduation day. I cried of course because I I really thought and really expected that she will be home finally. But I am not mad at her. My father told me to just understand her situation there, so I did. Fast forward, last 2019, when I was already going to complete my junior high school life and been living for 9 years without my mother by my side, but I already got used to it. I was not expecting for her to come since she never mentioned a thing. I just missed her. But the week before my junior high school completion, at around 10 in the evening, someone showed up, and to my horror, it was my mother. That was really unexpected. I even learned that in the past few days, my sister and I were the only one who haven't yet knew that she's coming home. Like no one really told us and never gave any clue. So at that moment, I was emotional and surprised at the same time. Like finally, even for the short period of time, I'll be able to feel her presence and I can show to people who my mother is. I spent most of the time most of my time with her and my sister. My father is excluded at that time because they were not yet in good terms. So it's just the three of us. We made our summer the most out of it. 2 months after her vacation was already over, she went back to the place where she worked, miles away from us.
Today, I'm going to tell you my memoir. In the previous year, when I was in a school campus, there's a group of people trying to persuade to join in their organization which they called Marshall. They told me that if I joined, I could pay less in my tuition. I did unhesitantly join. The story I'm going to share you is our preparation before the event named Kaflayapaan. We went to Girl Scout headquarters and gathered there. We made a different kite. There's a large one and small one. The interesting part of my memoir is we Marshall enthusiastically working together because there are many beautiful ladies there, which is the Girl Scout. Some of my senior tried to court them, then it works. They have been in a relationship until now. However, our happy moments had ended. Chris Sign, which is our former president in SG campus, give us an inexplicable situation because of inexplicable reason. I can tell the reason since we Marshall haven't allowed to talk on what happened on us during our duty. Mr. Sign give us a punishment to meet the consequences we made. Later on, we finally finished to make a kite and test it if it works. I didn't try, but I failed. I tried again until I made it flew. I was so happy to see it. I felt as if I was drunk with my happiness since the kite bring me back in my good old days. As time passed by, the event started and we made it fly. The lesson I've learned is no matter what hard the challenges are, Just don't give up and try your best until you succeed. Done.
When I got 18, that's the memoir I choose because I know the time, it is pandemic time, and it is also hard to find a money to make my birthday memorable, but because of my family's effort, other people's effort, I got surprised, and I think that's my birthday memorable ever because their effort gives me strength, give me happiness, and that day is my special day. That day I was crying because I get so very shocked, I get so very surprised. I did not expect a gift from them, but there I have so many gifts that received. There are some people give message to me, and so very nice because it's good. Their message is just for me and it's good for me. I just wanna thank God for giving these parents. I know it's hard, but they try. I know the effort that they give. I know the effort that they try. I'm thankful them and also other people that make an effort to become my day special, to become my day more and more memorable. So I just thank them all, and also I thank God who gives a strength to them to give a more birthday to me and also to other people.
What I remember, I will never forget, was that I was run over by a motorbike. I crossed and then the motorbike was speeding, so his motorbike hit me and I was far from my shoes. So the tire ate my hair and then I just cried until someone helped me to take me to the hospital, and there my mother and father caught me up with me because they were the only ones waiting for permission to show my scar on my head. And the man who collided with me negotiated and apologized to my parents and me. But that was not over. And the police asked me why I crossed alone. I said I would just buy food because I was hungry at the time. And I said I did not see a motorbike approaching, so I crossed. The man admitted it was his fault because the speed he ran from then. Until now, I was still afraid to cross even though I was the right age now. And one more thing that I will never forget, in our classroom, my classmate and cousin were playing ball, and then the sand contacted the ball and they passed it until hit my head, and my head went to a chair with the spikes. After we went to the clinic, I fainted because where I was hit, there was also a possibility that I would die, said the nurse who treated me. And then our principal and I called and just asked me why I was hit and who else was involved in the game and why they were playing. Was there no teacher coming into your room? And I was touched again.
In my elementary level, my most unforgettable moment was an accident in motorcycle. At the age of 8, my right shoulder, the bone, was fractured. This accident giving me trauma until now. My grandmother helped me to recover my fractured shoulder. She helped me to go to the hospital for my x-ray and check-up every week. It is not easy to me to have a fractured. Like, I want to help my grandmother, but I can't help it because I have difficulty moving because of my fractured shoulder. In my senior high school level, my unforgettable moment was an accident again in motorcycle in front of SJIT Annex, March 2020 last year. My trauma is always back in my mind because of my experience in the road accident. I always ask to the Lord why this accident and trauma back into my mind again. And I say, thank you Lord for saving my life because I thought it was the last day of my life, but the Lord gave me life to live and save my life again.
When I think about it, I remember a lot when we play in the morning to night. But the darkest part that was we are broken family. But that doesn't make my life miserable. I remember how we get wounds by our clumsiness when we try to ride a bicycle. In my high school life, I was a troublesome student. I always do cutting classes to play online games. My grandmother always scolded me for being stubborn. Me and my friends always came home in the morning because we do a lot of nonsense. We are addicted to playing online games, sometimes we forget to eat. My education was affected due to addiction to online games. I almost stopped studying, but my grandmother gave me a chance to continue my studies and I did not waste the opportunity she gave me. My happiest memories makes our childhood days worth remembering. The games we play, the friends we meet, and the laughter we shared with the people we love. We sometimes experience difficulties, but I learned the challenges and hindrance to gain knowledge is never a hindrance if you have a dream and you're really motivated to learn.
I'm here today to share one of my unforgettable moments in life. It happens when I was in grade 3, when our school has been selected to participate on an event, a festival contest in our municipality. And later after the announcement of our school being selected, our school principal announced that our classes will be minimized into 45 minutes per subject. And after classes every noon, we need to gather at the barangay gym to prepare practice on the dance, and because of that, we practice every day, and time slowly passed by, and when we spent 2 months practicing our dance, and when the time that the contest has begun, we were already prepared and we were at a position to march towards the venue, and when it is our time to perform, all of us has been feeling excited with a bit of, even though we're all nervous, and but after performing, our team relaxed for a bit and waited for the event to end. And when it's time to give recognitions on each teams, sadly we didn't get the first, and we're only on third. But the reason why I told it that this is one of our unforgettable moments, because when in 2 months we practice every afternoon, we practice with our mates, and because of that we gain a very precious thing, and that is bonding with friends, with schoolmates, teammates, and mentors. And even though we didn't win the first place, but we enjoyed our participation and the time that we spent together with my schoolmates. And also, it doesn't matter if we win as long as we enjoy and cherish the moments that we spent together, and that is all that matters.
I remember that day so vividly. It was early in the morning. Temperature was cold, and that day, the perfect sunrise and blue-colored sky appears. I was excitedly walking to reach my designated location.
A few moments later, I hear the very noisy bell sounds ring, ring, ring. And because of that, I am together with a bunch of people hurrying to attend the flag ceremony. At that event, I saw how the flag in the flagpole uplifts. Afterwards, students are allowed to go inside their respective classrooms. And this time, student was commanded to do their first activity, which is introducing ourselves in front of the class. It was my turn that I introduced myself, saying my name is Gerald Escanea, 12 years old, from 4A, Labid, Buenavista, Agusan del Norte. My hobbies are playing basketball and playing online games. Because of it, I discovered the personal information of my classmates, and they know me too. Entering high school opens a new chapter in life and opens a new friendship, but the flow of life continues. There are challenges I encountered, but I know I can and I will overcome.
I remember the day so vividly. The sky was perfect shade of light blue. I was strolling along the sidewalk on my quiet neighborhood, walking my beautiful white dog Callie, as I was admiring how proud and regal she always looked as we took our afternoon walk. My cell phone began to ring in my jeans pocket. I was instantly excited to see my girlfriend's name flash across my cell phone. As she began to speak, the utter shock of what she telling me had taken effect. The words she spoke were about to change my life. An easy voice began. She said, "So I have some news. I have never had an experience in my life when these words turned out to be the beginning of good news." She continued, "I just found out that I will be stationed in Hawaii next year, so it looked like we will be packing up and heading out." My mind was like, we spoke a bit more, and honestly, I cannot remember what we said. The rest of that life-changing phone call is a blank. My feelings were so mixed that I could not decide how I felt about the starting news. Life is incredibly complex. There are lots of things going on in our environment and in our lives at all times. And in order to hold into our experience, we need to make meaning out of it. The way we do that is by structuring our lives into stories.